Alright, so it seems like several Philadelphia Eagles are set to break out or take a massive step forward in 2024, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, as a few of the Birds' young defensive players are going to be absolutely crucial for the defense to be dominant this season. So will they take that next leap forward and bring the defense to new heights? Plus, Philly has also been linked to several of the top remaining free agents recently, so could either of these guys be good fits for the Birds? We're going to talk about all that and all the other latest Eagles news, so we won't waste any time, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so let's start off by looking at Jason Kelce, who was just honored in a really cool way, as a mural of him was actually just put up in Havertown at a Dunkin' Donuts, and it's really well done actually, and overall, it's just so cool to see Kelce receive all the love that he's been given, both through the past few years, and also especially now that he's retired. And you can see that in this video here with the commissioner, Roger Goodell, where Kelce also did speak about maybe a potential return.
Wrong room.
Oh,
What's up, bro? How's it going?
Good. Good. You're the surprise.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping I can get a surprise. What's going on with the schedule? We almost there?
You can't say we anymore.
Yeah, right? Maybe, we don't know. I mean, hey.
Oh, you're coming back?
I wish.
You said you were going to go to Brazil.
I want to. I really do.
You should go.
I went for the World Cup 2016 and absolutely loved it. So I would go back again.
I think honestly, it's safe to say that Jason is not coming back as much as he may want to, as his emotional retirement speech that he said he had been working on for years, and also his claims that he has some form of CTE, seem like great indicators that Kelce is going to stay retired, but still, it's just cool to see him doing different things and getting all the love and support that he's gotten. And also, speaking of that schedule that he was talking about with the commissioner, that is set to be fully released tomorrow on Wednesday, and we've already got a couple games confirmed as of the making of this video, including, of course, the Eagles and Packers Friday night matchup in Brazil on opening weekend, and I'll be covering the full schedule release probably on Thursday, so make sure you guys subscribe and also turn on notifications so you don't miss that or any other videos coming on this channel. But now, moving on here, let's take a look at a couple free agents that have been recently linked to Philly. As a recent Bleacher Report article written by Christopher Knox went over a few remaining free agents that the Eagles could look to bring in, and a couple are actually pretty intriguing. Now, one of them is former All-Pro and Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams, as the 28-year-old is still sitting out on the open market after being released by the Seahawks this offseason, and while reports have come out that the Seahawks are interested in bringing Adams back, and also the Niners may be another team that's interested, the Eagles definitely do make some sense as a destination if you believe that they need to add another safety. Now, Adams, I won't lie, is definitely still a big question mark. He missed half of his games during his time in Seattle, and this past season, I mean, aside from rushing the passer, he was pretty bad, as he really struggled in coverage and ranked 88th out of 95 qualifying safeties. However, if you're talking about Adams in terms of a depth addition at safety rather than a starter that may come in situationally and also can be used in different situations to rush the passer, then I don't think I'd mind it too much as long as it's for cheap, and again, they're not relying on him to be a starter. But then again, I think there's also other guys that the Eagles could definitely get that are still out there on the free agent market to fill the same role, and that are also better options than Adams or so. I don't know. I'm definitely not advocating for it, but if they do want to bring in the former All-Pro on a cheap contract for depth only, then I don't think I'd argue with that too much. But what do you guys think? Now, the other guy that I thought was an interesting option for the Eagles that was listed is defensive lineman Calais Campbell, as the 37-year-old vet is still on the open market, and while he's still contemplating retirement, it seems like he's likely to play another season, as he said, quote, "I'm going to go through my process, but I'm leaning toward playing again." And I definitely like him as an addition to the Eagles this year much more than a potential Adams addition, and that's for multiple reasons. One being that he can still definitely play. I mean, he logged 6.5 sacks and 24 QB pressures with the Falcons last year, so he would be a great rotational pass rusher off the edge for the Eagles to add to the mix of Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, and Nolan Smith. And on top of that, Campbell's just a great veteran leader that could really help and mentor the young guys on the defensive line alongside Brandon Graham. Now, I must admit, I'd be a little bit worried about Campbell taking away snaps from the second-year man Nolan Smith, who just definitely needs to see an increased role this year, but if they could somehow find a way to kind of utilize Campbell, Smith, and BG all equally off the edge as depth pieces, then I think it could work out. And also, Campbell has the versatility to play on the interior at times, so you could definitely utilize him in that way, and then you don't have to worry about him taking Nolan snaps away. So, I don't know, I personally think that if the Eagles want to add either one of these guys for depth, then I definitely would not be mad if they did, but I'm definitely not saying that the Eagles absolutely need to go out and sign either one of them, but if I had to pick one that the Eagles could get, I would definitely go with Campbell. But all that being said, what do you guys think? But now, just staying on the topic of the defensive line, line and the young guys that Campbell could end up mentoring, let's switch our focus to the Birds' fourth-year defensive tackle Milton Williams, as an article was actually just recently written about him, saying something that we heard quite a lot last offseason, being that he could be the Eagles' breakout star to watch this season. Now, the article, written by Heavy's Matt Lombardo, says that Milton Williams could be primed to capitalize on more playing time now that Fletcher Cox is retired, as he said, quote, "Milton Williams has been a bit of a forgotten man along the Eagles' defensive line and could be in line for an expanded role in his fourth season since being chosen in the third round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Williams, 25, has produced 6.5 sacks with 108 total tackles, 18.5 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 5 pass breakups through his first 50 career games. Williams could develop into a breakout star for the Eagles in 2024 in a new system and potentially expanded role. Quote, he's a talented player," a veteran NFC scout told Heavy of Williams, who is highly competitive and will see a lot of one-on-one situations in which he should win. And then the article goes on to quote PFF's Zoltan Boudet, who says that Milton Williams is the Eagles' most underrated player on the roster, as he wrote, quote, "Williams has been one of the best rotational interior defenders in the entire NFL over the past 2 seasons. While his 968 snaps over that period ranked just 64th at the position, his 73.2 PFF overall grade places 32nd. Williams was playing the best football of his career before an injury in 2023, with his 77.6 overall grade between weeks 5 and 11 ranking 14th among interior defenders." Honestly, I agree with the notion that given a bigger role, Milton Williams can really end up shining. I mean, he's been able to produce both as a pass rusher and in stopping the run in a very limited role. His run stopping grades were actually really high at one point last season, and he also definitely passes the eye test, so I'm excited to see what he can do if he is given more snaps this year. And someone else that I'm also excited to watch is the third-year man, Jordan Davis, although I must admit there's definitely more pressure on JD than Milt, and the Eagles are really going to be relying on him to be more consistent and just in better shape than he was last year, because after starting the 2023 season really well and clearly improving from his rookie year, JD's production definitely dropped off towards the back half of the season, not being nearly as effective as he was earlier in the year, and that's one of the things that actually caused the Birds' run defense to really drop off as well. Now, Davis did take accountability for his drop-off during his exit press conference.
That's one thing I have to work on, is claiming consistency. And, it's just have to look in the mirror. At the end of the day, I'm a man. I can admit when I'm falling off. I fell off in the half end of the year. So, I can admit that. But at the end of the day, we're human. We have the ability to change that. We have the ability to work and the ability to get to different platforms that we haven't reached yet. And I think that we'll be able to do that. It just takes a lot of faith, a lot of hard work. But at the end of the day, we're here.
So this was certainly nice, and it was just great to hear him actually take accountability, because a lot of players won't do that. But at the same time, he just can't do that again. He has to be in shape this upcoming season, and he has to stay consistent, because having reports like we did last year that the Eagles were fining Davis because of his weight and just being out of shape is definitely not a good look. So let's hope that he learns from it and bounces back in 2024 by taking another leap, because if he does, the Eagles defense and run defense specifically is going to really benefit a lot. And speaking of making sure guys are in shape, we now look at JD's fellow defensive tackle Jalen Carter, as Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio talked about making sure the second-year man gets in shape, as well as just Carter's overall talent.
Well, I think he's talented enough that no matter what we do with him, we'll be maximizing him. He's got to get in great shape, which I think he's off to a great start here, and so we can play him a lot.
So it's awesome to hear that Carter's getting into great shape, because kind of like JD, we saw Carter hit a little bit of a wall and fall off towards the end of the year, although to be fair, he was a rookie and that's kind of to be expected. But hopefully this year, he's in better shape, he's able to stay consistent throughout the entire year, and he ends up taking a leap in his game. Now, I definitely believe that the guy can, because we saw some crazy ability from him last year, and he did look dominant at times. So safe to say that given more time to develop and be in better shape, along with better coaching, and Carter is going to get even better. And I honestly think that out of all the players on the Eagles defense, he's the one that I'm the most excited about, because I really do think that he has the potential to be one of the best defensive players in this league for many years, and I just want to see him realize that potential. So I can't wait to watch him along with the rest of the guys that I mentioned in this upcoming season, and I really do think that just every player on this defense is going to greatly benefit from having Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator instead of Sean Desai and Matt Patricia, and I really do expect the overall defense to be so much improved from last year. But you guys can let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments, and also while you're at it, if you don't want to miss any more Eagles coverage just coming year round, make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. And also, while you're at it, make sure you drop a like to show some support. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want to watch another Eagles video, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.